There we go. All right. Welcome back to Now No Opportunity Wasted. I'm your host, Angelica Ross. Let me know how this sound is right now. Right now, I'm going through a microphone that's connected to the camera right now. I do have my podcast mic right over here to the side. It's not hooked up quite yet because, look, if this sound is working for you, I got a little noise reduction on it. Then we can go with this. If we need another, if we need it to be a little bit warmer, let me know. I can warm it up and we can get the podcast mic going on. Yes, Rick, it is your favorite time. It is no opportunity wasted. I'm your host, Angelica Ross, and today is September 8th. And I'm going to be straight up with you. It sounds clear and perfect. Great. Because I think I did, it's still a little advanced setup. So it is not a basic setup, but I have a microphone that's plugged into this Canon 4K camera that we're using today. It's not going to probably come obviously across this 4K because I can't afford 4K streaming right now. We're going to get there. We're definitely going to get there very, very soon. But right now, that's not what it's giving. So today we are streaming on multiple places. We're streaming to Instagram. So I see folks over on Instagram right now. Hey Tabitha Gonzalez. Hey everybody over on Instagram. Get into this rosy mug. Thank you. Yes, the girl is blushed down today. We definitely dunked my face in the blush today. Okay, cool. I got your comments over here so I can see your comments too. But what you really want to do is get over to YouTube so that you can join the conversation. You can become a subscriber because look, I want you to go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, you can become a member at just $5 a month. Listen, and all I'm gonna say is, listen, I'm doing the best I can with what I got. But the more support that I can get, the more we can put into things. The more I can upgrade the stream and be able to stream in 4K. But right now, we're gonna stream in 1080. But I'm recording. Oh, let me make sure I'm recording locally because let me hit start recording. So I'm recording locally as well. And that's how I was able to get such great video when I reposted video clips from last week's episode where we talked about dark money and politics with Amani B and the Conscious Lee, George Lee, that came on. And listen, you said also hit that bell notification. Absolutely. Let me put that comment on the screen. Absolutely. Also, make sure that you hit that bell for notifications so that you get notified on the spot whenever we go live. Also, you want to subscribe to my Substack. Now, listen, the Substack, that's where it's at too. You know what I'm saying? It's free. The Substack's free, but you can also subscribe at $5, and so there'll be different things for paid subscribers, just like there's different content here for paid subscribers. Because on the low, I've been working really hard, y'all, here. As you can see, take a look at the studio for a second. I just need y'all to see what really be going on. Let me tell you. What be going on? Wait a minute. what be going on is I be spending all day up in this mug. You know what I'm saying? All day. All day. And you have no idea how trash this space looked. Boxes everywhere, clothes everywhere. I didn't have people coming and volunteering and helping me and doing all kind of stuff. And that's why we're going to talk today. We're going to talk. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Ooh, baby. Just the two. Don't get about the word and about the minute. Understanding, don't know what I'm on in a minute. Just me and you. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Just me and y'all tonight. So the situation is I have been super busy, like super, super busy. I have a lot of great stuff has been happening, but also a lot of very challenging things have been happening. And, you know, I think I want to be a little bit real with y'all about that. Yes, come on, Tabitha made it over to YouTube. Wow! Come on, Tabitha made it over to YouTube. Oh no, just me and you, and also just me and you. I think that's a Tony reference, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Tony. But yes, you know, when you're a girl of a certain age, you have those references. Yes, so get over here to YouTube because this is where it's at. YouTube.com/Miss Ross. Also, you can find me on Substack at angelicaross.substack.com. We are going to go ahead and get started because before I really dive into all the details and the drama with you today, because I'm gonna get a little personal with you today, if that's all right with y'all. We get a little personal. But we are going to crack it open first. We're going to crack it open first with a word from Buddhism Day by Day. It's a short one today. It says the German author Hermann Hesse writes that the one more matures, the younger one grows. Certainly, there are many people who, as they age, become increasingly vigorous and energetic, more broad-minded and tolerant, living with greater sense of freedom and assurance. It is important to remember that aging and growing old are not necessarily the same things. End quote. Yes, I feel like a bell should have been rang there. Dong. Yes, I'm gonna get my sound effects together too eventually. Rick says, okay, yes, pink and green all the way. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Wicked colors, wicked vibes. And you know, I got my crowns on today because I also have my crown out today. I decided, you know what, we could be y'all just natural crown vibes. You know, I mean, I did put a little edge control in there, just a little bit to control it, just a little bit. But you know, I'm about to get these edges done. My hairstylist is about to get me right. I think tomorrow we about to, because I'm leaving on. Am I leaving? What am I leaving? I'm leaving a week from today. I'm heading to New York City, September 15th, to start rehearsing for this play that I'm in. Basically, I cannot wait for you all to see this play. Let me see if I can. But obviously though, from the word that I just gave, I mean, yeah, I mean, I just kind of, you know, embodying that. Like sometimes, you know, as we're getting older and wiser, there's just this glow that happens. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you're going through, we call it absolute happiness. I am very, very happy. I just talked about, like, you know, hate. I hate, you know, crying and having to cry out those things or whatever. But I'm a human being, so, you know, I guess I have to do that. So, you know, but aside from all of those things, like I am a happy being. Like my being is happy. You know what I'm saying? My my happiness is rooted not in like my bank account balance, my credit scores, my relationship status, all these different things. It's rooted in my spiritual practice. So it's hard for me when I'm going through really difficult times to talk about it with everybody, especially people who are not practicing the Buddhism, because I get so much either unsolicited advice, or I'll get like, just unnecessary energy sometimes, when I'm not saying that it's not being figured out, that I'm not working towards a solution, that I don't have hope, and all these different things. I'm saying, ouch, ow, oh my God, this hurts so bad. That's what I'm saying. And what I'm trying to, communicate a lot of times is I understand that I am not immune. That's what this practice is about. I'm not immune from experiencing pain, experiencing the 10 worlds, which, there's this, again, when I talk about the 10 worlds in Buddhism and all these different things, there's this concept we call the mutual possession of the 10 worlds, which means no matter where you at, you could be vibrating on heaven. You can be vibrating in Buddhahood. You could be vibrating in the world of voice hearers and learners. These are the upper worlds. You know what I'm saying? These are the upper of the 10 worlds. But within each of those worlds is still the world of hell. It's still there. It's there. It's there somewhere. Maybe the sun is blocking it out right now. Maybe the sound of the music you playing and bumping is drowning out the situation. But it's there somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? So, hell, hunger, animality, anger, all of these lower things are all there. So, like, none of us are immune from experiencing or vibrating and living in a world where our experience is dictated by anger, dictated by hunger, dictated by the hell that we are in, dictated by, certain things. That's why we practice to bring, to try to bring our vibrational frequency to experience. Because again, what's so lovely about the practice and the mutual possession of the 10 worlds is, if all of the worlds are in each other, then somewhere in that world of hunger is a doorway out into a higher space, into the world of humanity, into the world of, Buddhahood, into the world of heaven and all these other places. Even when you are in the realm of hell or hunger or anger, there's a way out. And that's why I wrote this song, The Bad Place, and then I can't wait to, actually lay the vocals down. But the first verse is a universe within a universe. Life can be complicated. Feeling good until you're feeling hurt. And now you got frustrations. There's a way in and a way out. You just can't stop in traffic. Better to be lost than to be nowhere. Ups and downs are going to happen. You're on a journey. It's way too early to give up. You're on a journey. Show yourself some love. Don't get stuck in the bad place. And that's what it's about. It's, again, me diving into the concept of the 10 worlds, and that the hell is a place that we can experience, but you don't have to be stuck there. And so I say all that to say, because I have been experiencing a lot of hell. And I'll go into more detail in that in a second here, but I want to share some images here, if it allows me to here. So here's one of the first images, and And I want to hopefully get that so that there we go. There we go. So here's some promo photos from the play. So this is one of the characters. I played two characters in this play. Two different characters, which is pretty amazing that I get to do that. So I'm very honored to be a part of this and to be telling these stories. So the name of this play is Freedom Riders. Or I think it's well, Freedom Riders is the name of the tour that we are going on. And we are going on a tour from Montgomery, Alabama to Greensboro, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, D.C., and then I think finishing in New York City. So, it's going to be a really great situation. So as you can see in this photo here, that is one of the characters that I'm playing. And what I can tell you, what I will tell you about that character is that, come on, I'm trying to airdrop to myself. What's the T? I hate when like technology just doesn't do exactly what it's supposed to do. Because I'm trying to show the girls some photos and things. Turn on Wi-Fi. Oh, I have to turn on my Wi-Fi to do that. Okay, I guess I'll turn on the Wi-Fi. Okay, so I just didn't want my stream to prioritize the Wi-Fi, which I think it just tried to do that now that I turned on the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to turn that Wi-Fi off because it looks like it's starting to like not be the speed I need it to be. So let me turn this Wi-Fi off. Okay. So hopefully it went back to Ethernet speed and it's not lagging or doing any of those things. It says two characters, how will you memorize it all? Well, the wonderful thing about this play is that we don't memorize it. You see, like it's set up that it's kind of a reading, but we do memorize a lot of it, but like it's set up to be sort of a reading, but it doesn't look like we're reading. It doesn't look like any of the actors are reading. And we have the books, but there's so much of it that we do have off book because you are giving a performance. So it's a really an amazing reimagining and retelling of the situation. Let me see. I'm going to try to upload another image here that they posted. Yes. So it's called Freedom Riders, a journey with no end in sight. I know we're going to be in New York City, but like I said, we are also hopefully, I think on harlemstage.org, you can start to find tickets. You can find, hey, Queen Goddess, Goddess Sister, Goddess Queen Sister. You can find tickets at harlemstage.org. Let me show you another image. Yes, so these are some of the images of the other actors, Lisa, and so like this, it's amazing cast. Like everybody, the characters that the stories that we bring to life. It's really about, I think, 12 different stories of Black folks who have experienced police brutality. And one of the characters that you see here that I am portraying here is actually someone who was in the Civil War. And so I get to, from the night, I don't know when it's from a while ago. How about that? From the Civil War. So I speak with this Southern accent. It's really amazing. It's an amazing story. And then I also tell the story of another Black trans woman, and that is really amazing as well. So I don't want to give it all away, but you better get your tickets. That's all I'm going to say is get your tickets now at harlemstage.org. I think the tickets have started to go on sale. I saw somebody think that they said they got their tickets for Montgomery, Alabama already. So see if you can get your tickets for the tour. The tour is going to be Montgomery, Alabama. And then I want to say Greensboro, North Carolina, at I want to say at the university there, and then I want to say at the AT&T Theater at Morehouse in Atlanta, Georgia. I think is where it's going to be September 30th. I know that date, so keep that one in mind. Um, and then we'll be finishing the tour in New York at Harlem Stage in Harlem. So I will be leaving the studio, leaving my comfortable studio here. And I will be, and it's always this, it's always when I finally get things just in place and where they need to be, that's when I have to leave the nest. That's always when I have to leave home. But it's fine. Again, make sure folks that are over here on Instagram, I can kind of see your comments, but get on over to YouTube. That's where the party's at. Yeah, Freedom Riders, not Riders. Yes, Freedom Riders, because we're basically following the route. So we're going on a little tour. We're going to be getting on a bus that has our whole like pictures on it. It's an amazing, this is incredible. Like a friend actually sent me a picture. If I can, I might even have it on my phone, but a friend sent me a picture. Michael Rice, director Michael Rice, documentarian Michael Rice sent me a photo. I guess because they have posters. Yes, here it is. They have posters up in these subways right now. So let's see if this airdrops. Oh, good, it did airdrop. Because I didn't. I think I turned off the Wi-Fi again, so it worked that time. So I'm gonna show you. He sent me this picture. Look at that. Look at that in the subway. Your girl's in the subway. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. You see me in the middle with my blonde bob. You see my hair done got way longer than the bob now, though. Like my hair's gotten out of control. Yeah, so yeah. So make sure you get your tickets. Things are gonna be great. Would it oh, did I, you know what? Maybe thank you for, possibly correcting me, because because I do have a slight little bit. I'm neurospicy, let's just say that. So it does a lot of things. I got ADHD. I probably got a little bit of sprinkle, a little bit of everything. Let's just say that. So so let me read that one more time from the Buddhism Day by Day and make sure I have read that right. Thank you so much for, tapping me on the shoulder with that one. So let's read that one more time. The German author Hermann Hesse writes that the more one matures, the younger one grows. Certainly, there are many people who, as they age, become increasingly vigorous and energetic, more broad-minded and tolerant, living with greater sense of freedom and assurance. It is important to remember that aging and growing old are not necessarily the same thing. So I think I did read that correctly. You were saying that aging and growing wise aren't necessarily the same thing. And that too. But I mean, so basically I see where you were going there. So that is correct too. Aging and growing wise are not necessarily the same thing. That is why sometimes in the LGBT community, we don't necessarily have olders. That's what we have. We have olders and not elders. We got olders. People who have grown older but not wiser, and are just passing down, and not even passing down. What they're doing is sucking the youth out of young people, and either living vicariously through, or again, ending up in these power dynamics where they're living, through the stupidity of some of these younger, folks or whatever, instead of passing down the lessons and the things that they've learned, because some of them ain't learning no lessons. But that is, I think, another conversation. That's a different conversation than the one I was, coming on here to have. Um, so basically, huh, so what I will share with you is this. I am almost in the clear. I am almost out of debt. Like I was saying before, I've been working my little tush off. And let me tell you something. I know someone posted on like threads, because I know I had like reposted it. So I think I see like the sort of, I guess, notifications from it. But someone said, please stop telling people life isn't fair when they're being treated poorly. That's unacceptable and dismissive AF. And, I really, you know, the reason why that caught my attention is because, sometimes, I know I was talking to some folks and they were just talking about how, like, in an actor's career, right? And just in a creative person's career, we all experience ups and downs. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not, and all those different things. That is a real experience. How and so ever, it's a completely different situation going on also right now. It ain't just that a girl's not hot. Clearly. It's that the Zionists are running a zombie apocalypse right now. And anybody who has the courage to speak up and risk something has lost something. And I have been doing this for quite a minute now, and I have lost a lot. But I have been working my tail off, and things are paying off slowly but surely. There's I struggle sometimes with how much to tell y'all, because like, I don't always feel safe on these internet streets telling all the details. But that's why I'm trying to like create like a hybrid of this show and the podcast where, there's these things I talk about to the greater masses, and then I can go into more detail to those who, are who just can be trusted, I think, a little bit more. I don't know. They're in the winner's circle. They're in the circle of trust, the winner's circle. And again, you can join the winner's circle just at starting at $4.99 a month, child. I mean, and I've got so much exclusive content coming up, and going to be talking more and more about the things. But here's the situation. I have been experiencing like physical limitations and issues with my body. It's getting a little bit better, I think. I don't know. Every day is an up and down thing. Some days I'm crying for dear life, in pain, and other days I'm bouncing up and down these steps. You know what I mean? So it's kind of and thank you, Rick. Is like, your business is your business. I appreciate that. But they said, but thank you for trusting when you do. I appreciate that. So I've been experiencing some physical limitations, and I've been experiencing some financial limitations. And them financial limitations, whoo, child, let me tell you. But and everybody and their mama calling me right now. American Express, the HOA, Citibank, my mortgage. Everybody is saying, hey, sweetie, you gonna make a payment today? You making a payment this week? And I'm like, listen. When I got it, you'll get it. I promise. And the thing is, look, I am days away from being able to pay a lot of these bills off. But in the meantime, I'm very fortunate that, I have people in my life that if I say that I'm hungry, they send me an Instacart full of groceries, you know, um, that, friends like my friend and hairstylist Brandon, he'll text me, he'd be like, I cooked, you at home? You know what I'm saying? And then will bring me a plate of food. Like no, knowing because he knows that like I be up here and just working, and you know, um, and you know, I was trying to balance the scales a little bit, and had my place on Airbnb. So, a girl was doing everything to try to pay these bills. So I basically moved out of my master bedroom and moved into my studio, my recording studio in the next room over here, because I have a pull-out bed in that recording studio, and I was making money hand left and right, starting to like make money off this Airbnb. Baby, my it's location, location, location. Baby, the first time I had put it up was the weekend of that Beyonce concert, and people was trying to book it right away. And I was like, oh, hold up. I wasn't even ready yet. So I had literally moved all of my stuff down here to this lower level here. So when I had moved down here, I had everything beautiful and set for the guests upstairs. But down here was a tornado. It was boxes and clothes everywhere. It was insane. And so when people were coming over, it was so embarrassing because it looked like I'm just messy and got everything all over the place, but that's not the situation. I like now have to basically take my take all my stuff and like try to figure out how to live down on this level, just like basically like an apartment. This is my podcast studio in here. Recording studios in the other side. The garage is on the other side of that door back there. You know what I'm saying? So I got pretty much everything I need down here. Kitchen and living room is upstairs as well. But, so I was doing that until the HOA sent me a letter talking about you got to stop. Now I know, listen, there was this amazing Chinese family that was staying with me. But I know they the reason why I end up getting shut down. Listen, they was sweet. They was really, really nice. Really nice. Like it was a family that was seeing their young person off to college, at Emory University. It was so beautiful. And they were cooking and eating together as a family every night. They invited me to eat with them, which was amazing. So I got to, and then my friend Woola comes over and she's saying hi to them. And then all of a sudden, this bitch starts speaking Chinese. And I'm like, I know this bitch did not start popping out. She's like, Sean saying something. I'm like, Woola. And I'm like, bitches, you speaking Chinese? And she's like, oh yeah, this and this and that. I'm like, oh, but you just never know. So she's speaking and they having conversations. But these people that were staying at my place, basically, I think they were from somewhere in Beijing or somewhere over there, somewhere. And basically, they just did not have the etiquette of like staying in an Airbnb and keeping it chill. The old man out in the front talking to neighbors, mind you, in Chinese, not in English. Their friends coming to visit, drove up in front of the house in a cyber truck, child. Oh, doing a whole show in front of the house, the trunk opening up, and they all taking pictures and videos. And I'm looking all along the thing, and I'm like, yeah, this is probably the last time. I'm looking, I knew in that moment. I was like, yeah, they probably gonna shut this down. And but everything is a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is a lesson, is totally fine. Yes, and yes, I have a Substack, angelicaross.substack.com. So when they had the Cybertruck out front too, I was just like, oh, here we go. So I just I'm not even gonna go there, but here we go. But the family was just super nice. And we not only were they super nice, the father, this older man, you know what I mean, smoked a lot of cigarettes, would go out to the patio, and he saw that on my patio The HOA, when I moved in, waterproofed and painted everybody's deck but mine. I called them several times to paint the thing and they never did it or whatever. So obviously from weather and all the things, I got cracks in the wood and blah, blah. And so this older Chinese man sees it and he's like telling them and translating to me that if I go to Home Depot and get the waterproof stuff, that he'll paint the deck. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 And he's like, no, please, I want to do that for you. So he starts waterproofing and painting the deck. And I'm just like, thank you, and it was just, and he's like, he basically said, once we've eaten together, we're like family. You know what I mean? So it was such an amazing experience that I had with most of the Airbnb guests and getting to know all of them. But I had to shut it down. And so that's fine because all in all, it helped me to create the vision because in reality, I don't want to support Airbnb no damn way because that CEO, from what I hear, is doing conservative foolery. So anything I can do to remove the middle person, especially somebody that's doing stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I have my own private community and you can join. Well, if you are in Atlanta, Georgia, you can join my private community at, let me see. I'm going to put it up here for you really quick. So at potluckfire.com, that is where you can become a member of this co-creative community. Whether you are traveling from out of town and you're doing a gig in town and need a place to stay, you know what I'm saying? We got the bedrooms at the top, but also, cause I'm not going to always be here. Cause like I said, I'm about to be in New York, traveling, doing some things, blah, blah, blah. But I got some people who going to be watching the space. We got security, the punch codes on doors, as you can see, you probably can't see back there right now, but there is a punch code to that door too, that leads to the garage where there's a lot of equipment. But basically, there's everything from paid memberships, starting at $50 for a day pass to come visit my Disneyland, and co-work here and do the things or whatever the case is. There's membership starting at $250 a month, where you can get, I think, up to 5 full studio days, which is 8 hours of being able to book studio time for whatever your projects are. So for anybody that has a podcast, that's a no-brainer when a deal like that. We have memberships, I think, at a 500 and 1,000, but then we also have community memberships. Those memberships are free memberships, but not just free 99, because the admission price for this community is what, children? Does anybody know what the admission price to my community is? You might not, but the thing is, the admission price to be a member of Potluck Fire community is accountability. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking that you be accountable to using this space. Clean up after yourself. Not just clean up after yourself, but if you want to be able to, if you're not paying nothing and you want to be able to use the podcast studio or use the glam stuff or or be able to co-work in this. I mean, like co-working in this space is co-working in this space. That's a basic thing. We're also going to be having workshops here. So one week I'll be giving a workshop on podcasting fundamentals so you can learn how to use the basic podcasting equipment. Like, this is my other one that I have hooked up, but I have this A10 Mini Pro. And I have the one that says ISO on it so that I can record 4 cameras at once. But showing you how to switch between, how to hook these things up, hook your microphones up, because I done learned all the things by trial and error, right? By not having microphones hooked up and doing all the things. So, one day we'll be doing podcasting basics. One day we'll be doing, video editing, because I'm a beast at video editing and talking about how to edit reels. Also doing music engineering, so basics of music engineering. I usually show that in Ableton Live, but I'm also able to show that in Logic Pro and in Pro Tools. So we got a sewing machine upstairs. We got a little bit of everything for folks' creative ambitions. So you can become a free member, but basically it's a give and take. So if there are things like you wanting to use the equipment and the podcast studio, things like that, then for that hour of using that podcast studio, you're going to have to volunteer an hour. That's all it is, giving and taking. And so we already have a community. I think there's already 5 members so far that come here on a daily basis, which is really, really sweet and really cool. And it's great synergy here. So please support any way that you can, because I'm starting from a place where I know that this is just something that's needed. I'm going to be creating events. We call them Potluck Fires on the weekends. It's going to be part potluck and part open mic. Because, we got to do things where we're feeding each other. There are days when I myself have gone hungry, and I know that there are people starving right now around the world. And so I know that none of us are immune from hard times. But I want to create a space for us to come together and to commune, especially as we are all on our separate journeys through our all separate challenges. But I would love to hear how people turn pain into medicine, turn challenge into art and to creativity, turn pain into a song even. So stay tuned for those Potluck Fire events that'll be happening right here in the upper level. So again, you can find that all again at potluckfire.com. You can become a paid member or you can become a community member. With community members, we only have so many limited spaces available. Obviously, I can't have a bunch of people up in, just all the time. So those spaces are limited. Right now, I'm looking for a community member that can join our community that is a video editor, so that you can come here and use the big studio monitors and things to edit your projects, and in return, maybe help me edit the podcast so I'm not the only one editing all of these videos, because that is what has been a handful, is me trying to edit all of this by myself. Also somebody who's, just an amazing cleaner, somebody that just loves to clean and do all those things. Baby, help us keep a tidy space, and you get in that recording booth and do what it do. Do what it do. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about a give and take. Potluckfire.com. So, and thank you so much. Thank you. We got a super sticker. Thank you so much, because I need that $20. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Majestic Black. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, wait a minute. Did you just do another sticker? Did you just do another sticker? For $10. Listen. Oh, thank you for loving me on this live. I appreciate it. Because listen, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm being real with y'all. Because here's the situation. I'm only telling you this. And I have gone through, I've gotten guidance from my Buddhist mentors and various folks, and I have been chanting my tail off. I have been showing up. I have been holding. Okay, so every other Thursday, at 7 p.m., I host what we call a Toso, where we chant for an hour. Folks that come to this space are also welcome to join me for the Buddhist events that happen here. We'll be chanting in this corner over here. So also, if you want to chant with me at 7 a.m., I am chanting every morning at 7 a.m. So as a potluck, community member, obviously as an SGI Buddhist member, you really just good, period. But I'm basically 7 a.m. every morning chanting. So this is community space. You can join me for morning ganyo, and you can join me at 7 p.m. Most evenings, if not every evening, but definitely every other Thursday. But if somebody shows up to chant, it just reinforces that, hey, it's time for me to chant. So I'm always open. My place is always open for folks to come and chant with me. Thank you so much again for the folks who have been giving to this live. We have another Oda B saying hola, hello there. So I want to say this, and the reason why I want to tell you this is that I want to be transparent about some things. I was a little nervous at first about talking about certain things and sharing certain information because yeah, it is what it is. But I can't control how people perceive me. I just can't. All I can do is be 1000% authentic. And that's what I am, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm not going to worry about certain things. Yes, I'm still going to, be careful about, because on these spaces we have to be very, very careful about what information you share because, through social engineering, through various things, you can arm nefarious characters who can basically cyber attack you. There's just a lot of things in this day and age that you want to be careful about the information that you're sharing. And ideally, hopefully, I'm creating in the space that I'm creating is I'm creating people who want to be in community with me, not people who are looking to attack me or to find a way to get dirt on. I don't know, whatever that might be. But there's no dirt. There's no dirt. There's no dirt. What I will say is that I have been practicing this Buddhist practice for 15 years. And when I first started practicing, I would go to people's houses and I would see their gohanzen in their living rooms and things like that. And we would, they would bring me over. We would go to the meetings at people's houses. That's what you do. But when I went to people's houses, I will be honest, like I was so envious because I was just like, wow, it must be nice to have a home. Like they own this home, And it was, to me, it was just such a far-fetched idea. I could barely keep my bank account balances positive. I went from living in the motel that they shot Pretty Woman in Los Angeles. I started, move when I left, Chicago, quit lip syncing at the Kit Kat Lounge, left my fiance, all this kind of, in Florida, all this kind of stuff, whatever. And, and I, for the longest time, experienced so much financial, oh my God, just like collection notices, negative bank account balances, and it just was, I just could never seem to get ahead. And it was just, I was always, my mom, I just can't wait till you get your life together. This, that, and the third, whatever. And it just was, I felt like the fuck up of the family, This was before I was famous. you know? And so I say all that to say that I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of work. And when I was presented with what I was presented with my dream and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, and coming from financial insecurity, instability, and all that thing and struggle and all that, to be then introduced to a life where I didn't have to worry about things. Huh. I mean, I had health insurance. Don't got that no more. I had health insurance. I could go to the doctor whenever I wanted to. Huh. Talk about luxury. I could go to the doctor whenever I get a tickle in the back of my throat. I'm calling the doctor. Doctor, I think something wrong. There's nothing wrong. You all right? Are you sure? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I could just go to the doctor. Now, I ain't even opened that letter from Piedmont Hospital yet. I ain't even opened it yet. I ain't even want to go to the hospital. I was in such pain. I ain't know what was going on with my body. Did I want to go to that? No, I'm not going to no doctor. No. I wanted to see the orthopedist. They told me I got to give them $1,000 before I can even, I got to give them $1,000 deposit before I can even make an appointment. So I said, okay, girl, hold on. Wait on it. I'll be back. Wait on it. Because I got a mortgage to pay still. I got bills to pay. And they don't stop coming. So, but the thing is that like I assumed the appropriate karma. I accepted the whatever would befall me because I just believe that there is no price tag on my integrity. I don't give a damn what the opportunity is. I don't give a damn what I'm faced with. I don't, I'm like Elphaba. She's like, you could still be with the wizard. And she's like, I know, girl, but I don't want it. I can't want it. She says she can't want it anymore. Because if I stay back here, it's going to be about 5 minutes before I say free Palestine and y'all try to lock me up and call me anti-Semitic. So, ain't no sense in me even trying. I mean, I know how to, I shut up and I do shut up and, I go in phases of trying to shut up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know what it is. And it's so obvious out there right now that, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm good. I sleep good at night. I sure do. Even with the bill collectors calling. But I'm going to tell you, it has been so incredible. This has been an incredible time. I'm going to tell you why it's been an incredible time. I'm going to tell you why. Where that book at? Wait. I'm going to tell you why it's been an incredible time. So, with our Buddhist practice, we have these things called the five eternal guidelines. And so we have like these very 5 like almost like fundamental eternal guidelines that are part of our practice. And one of those guidelines, and this is what I tell y'all, when I come on here and talk about all these things, all I got to do is talk about one thing, let alone the other things. So we only going to talk about one right now. But like the one thing is saying faith for a harmonious family, making our families castles of happiness and security, right? And so the thing is that this is not an easy situation. And it says the family as a place where each member can grow and create value. And we talk about repaying our debt of gratitude, right, to our parents, no matter what's going on, that they brought life to us. And so there's this fundamental debt of gratitude, right? So I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all know through some of the things and the stories that I've talked about, my family situation hasn't been the most harmonious. Now, me and my mother, we do have a good relationship now, but it wasn't always harmonious. Me and my brother, depending on the day and the week and the situation, we be at it all the time and we be fighting. And we are like oil and me and my brother, we are like oil and water. And, at one point I thought that it was going to be a situation where I was just going to have to deal with the fact that we just probably not going to be speaking that much. I love my brother, blah, 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 but we just don't, we just be like, we don't really get along like that. And so, also, I remember one time my dad was telling me, about certain things just with my life. And he was just like, look, you doing certain things and we wish that we could help you. But you got big bills, you know what I mean? Like you're doing some stuff that we can't really help you with, like my parents didn't have the capacity, even though they wanted to support and help me, they didn't have the capacity for that. And so, we have this thing about chanting for faith for a harmonious family. And so, it's one of the things on the list that I chant for, but sometimes you have these things where you're like, but that's a tough situation. So that might not, happen or whatever the case is. But no, we chant for everything and whatever it is that we desire. And so what I will say is that I was starting to break down. Like my situation was starting to break down. After so many months of being canceled from different jobs, my credit card balances were just climbing fast. And I think that the stress that I was experiencing, because I have such a poker face, it was actually eating at me on the inside. And so a lot of the physical ailments I think that I'm experiencing and stuff like that, I think is definitely has a lot to do with stress. I have ADHD and, thankfully medicated for the most part. But I overwork myself in various ways. I have a race car brain with bicycle brakes. And so when that happens, I sometimes also drive my body into overdrive. And so I was starting to break down, and it had to be a point where I just was like, I think I need to go to the hospital and see what's going on with my body, but I just did not want to go to the hospital. I didn't want to even think about a hospital bill. I didn't want to, whatever. And so it took going to the ER in the hospital for me to have like a sort of aha moment with everything. And the reality is that I'm comfortable helping other people. I'm comfortable being there for other people. But I am not comfortable needing help. I'm not comfortable because I worked so hard to be out of this place where I was check to paycheck and being a burden to my family, being a burden and couldn't go out with friends, do this and that and the third, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I felt like I had left that time of my life behind, and due to various circumstances, with I was not just a celebrity, I was a celebrity with a team. So there are a lot of dynamics and things you pay for, that over time I had to let go of. But it got to a point where I didn't even have food in the refrigerator. And I know my parents are like, were just mad. They're like, now don't ever let it get down to that kind of situation. You better open up your mouth and call somebody and, say something or whatever. And I can say that, like, I just remember calling my dad one time, and he was just like, you never asked for anything. And he was just like, let me help you. And my dad helped me pay my mortgage that month. And it was just a situation where it's like, he was just like, and you do not have to pay me back. And I will be paying you back, Dad. I will be paying you back. But um, you know, uh he was just like, you have always been self-sufficient. You've always taken care of yourself. We've not been able to be in a position to help, and I am now in a position able to help you. Let me help you. And then, probably the next month, my brother did the same thing. Oh, God. And so, you know, just talking with my family, it's just been amazing that so many things have gone kind of 360 with the situation, and that this faith for a harmonious family. We're not, harmony doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean, you know, um that things will be, perfect all the time. But I know that I can count on my family. I know that um yeah, so just one, I did not want to have to ask them for help. But I did have to. And I think that that was a part of something I needed to experience again. It's just realizing that sometimes you still have to be the person, no matter what, whatever, that, sometimes you're just going to have to ask for help, or you're going to need help, and it's okay to let people support you and help you. Um, so, first of all, thank you to my brother, and thank you to my father, and thank you to my mother. My mom called me up one day. She was like, you've been kind of quiet. She's like, I want to bless you with a little something. So she calls, you know, just these situations where, you know, got your mom sending you money, whatever. And, you know, you never want your parents to worry about you. Um, so things are changing, things are changing like right now. So everything's going to be fine in a matter of days. But I say all of this to say that, even with not having an interview tonight to, play for tonight, um, I really had to like start just allowing myself the balance of what is. I can't push myself beyond what I have the capacity to do. I appreciate you all for helping me grow and watch me grow on this platform. Um, I've been doing some amazing things with these cameras and these lights and editing and all these kind of things or whatever, but I can only do so much, um, with the circumstances. But I say all of that, because there's no way that I could tell you more than I can show you. I've told you all about the past and how I've overcome some past challenges and different things. And the reality is, I think that part of me has been running away from some of you watching me in real time do this again. Because, and I haven't, you know, the peanut gallery, the judgment, all the different things, you know. But that should not be my concern, especially not with my intention and focus and the vow and the purpose that I have on my life. So I'm letting as many people that want to see me. As my sister India Moore said. India has been such a... India, I love you, girl. She has been encouraging me to not isolate and not go through these things alone, especially with someone like her who has been out here speaking and doing the things and understands what is happening. She's like, you don't have to do this alone. And she's like, I see you, and it's okay to let people see you. And so, you know, it's not the most glamorous part to show people. And so, but I know in hindsight, it is one of the most beautiful parts because you just watch. You just watch. 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 Like, I could not pay for the blessings that I am about to receive. And all that it comes from the way that I am showing up to the challenges in my life. The way that I'm putting my heart on the table. The way that I am putting everything I am and have on the table. That's that kind of wealth and riches is outside of capitalism. You know what I mean? So I want you to see that it's not all roses, you know. And my tears are just tears of like being a human being. It's not of despair, you know. I have hope. I have I'm happy, you know. And I'm grateful. I'm sorry, I'm like but I'm also grateful, grateful. I'm very, very grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my Buddhist family. I'm grateful for the community that I'm building here with Potluck Fire. I'm grateful for my ballroom family with the garçons. I'm grateful for my sister Carlisha, who's come over and helped me out over here at the studio. I'm grateful again for my friend Brandon, who brings food every once in a while. I'm grateful for Jimmy, who comes over and chants with me. I'm grateful for I'm grateful for Ben, who comes and volunteers with Trans Tech almost every day. I'm grateful for Tabitha, you know, who just reaches out and says, I'm here, sister girl. I'm grateful for you, India Moore, for the way that you, just everything. I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for every single one of you that is watching right now, that is supporting, that is subscribing, that is growing with the channel, that is sending stickers and helping to, you know, to support this channel. It means the world to me. You can also get merch at missross.com, you know, /shop, I think it is, but you know, missross.com. You can find things there and ways to support me. I am going to be also re-releasing very old music that I think maybe never even hit iTunes. So it's old stuff. It's old stuff, but it's stuff that my day one fans really loved. So I'm going to be making those available for download on missross.com very soon. So check out for that. So both my old music and new music, I'm going to be taking my music down from Spotify, just obviously for obvious reasons. So thank you all for, listening to this, just me and you, the audience tonight. Um, Girl, independence is a myth. Humans have never done anything without help. Needing help is natural and necessary. There is no shame in needing help. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The Queen says, I'm here to support you, sis. Gratitude for being vulnerable. Thank you so much. Learning to receive is imperative for attracting abundance. It sure is. Got to learn those lessons, right? Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you so much, Rick. And so I really needed this. I'm an artist trying to overcome my fear of being seen. Thank you for being so real and such an amazing role model. Sending love. Thank you so much. So there's nothing wrong with being real, and I'm building community with people who it's safe to be that with. And I actually just started like unfollowing and letting go of these fake ass hoes. You know what I'm saying? Like fake won't fucking answer a text message but be on your social media. You know what I'm saying? Like won't like, you know what I'm saying, just act real funny, move funny. Y'all can move funny over there. I'm tired. That's not happening anymore. So I'm separating myself from that. Yes, I've drawn a line in the sand with some of y'all. I absolutely have. Yes. Because y'all just running around not accountable to nothing and nobody. That's what you want to do. That's what you can do. Me, I'm accountable to my Buddhist community. I'm accountable to and the people I build community with. It's not just about a shared identity and affinity. Just because we LGBTQ don't mean we really gonna be community. Nope. We got some similarities. Yep. We both black and trans. We got some similarities. We're not automatically, and we can share the label even cis. Hey sis. Yeah. But, that's a little loosely used because community is accountability. Me being accountable to you and you being accountable with how you show up here too. I promise to be accountable, especially if you come correct and with receipts and with, the right energy and all these different things. Like I'm that girl. I will definitely offer accountability. But I'm in community for real with people. That's why I offer real resources through trans tech, scholarships to tech trainings. You know what I'm saying? And now space and internet and maybe even coffee. You know what I mean? A warm cup of coffee or something to do some work. This ain't though going to be for everybody. This ain't just your regular LGBT community center. This is a co-working space, a co-creative space. Yes, sometimes the creative looks like playing a video game. Sometimes it looks like singing and doing different things, but it ain't like that all the time, kicking your feet up and just on vacation. You understand? We don't do that here. Yes, I have a pool. Yes, we're going to have times where we at the pool, just kicking it at the pool. But then we back to getting the things done. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. We're going to be having improv acting classes in the space. We're going to have podcasting workshops, music workshops, all kind of things. So potluckfire.com again. If you are in the Atlanta metro area, I'm in Decatur, Georgia, just 15 minutes outside of Midtown. But again, you can go to potluckfire.com and sign up to become a member. You can become a paid member, which we love that because that would be an amazing support to the space, and you would have much more access to the space, your own personal digital code to get into the space, etc. But community members, you are more than welcome to join me here between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Is kind of the open hours. And I say that because 7 a.m. is when I start chanting, 7 p.m. is when is the evening chanting. But anytime in between that is kind of like work, and open things. So thank you again to all the folks who joined me on. I see that there was stuff on Instagram too. But again, you got to get over to YouTube to get the full experience. Folks over on Instagram, I appreciate you though for staying in. Yaya the doll says, yes, your strength within vulnerability is so golden. Says it's a stripping down process to help transform us for the upcoming and incoming abundance. This is the rain for nourishing our seeds. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So, so I just wanted to come on here and just be a little transparent that I'm struggling at this very absolute moment. At this absolute moment. At this absolute moment. But I will tell you this last story before I go. American Express called me. And they called last week, too. And they called, to try to see if I could, is you going to make a payment on any of these accounts this week? And, so I did schedule a payment because I thought some money was going to come through. That money did not come through. So I had to cancel those payments. And those accounts end up going negative, which was, again, triggering for my financial karma. Very triggering. And so the American Express guy called again, I think like yesterday or, even today or something like that. And he calls and I'm talking to him and he goes, oh yeah. He's like, I think I spoke with you last week too. He goes, I'm really, I'm really proud of you. And he goes, because basically I told him, I said, listen, I'm answering the phone so that I can let you know that definitely a payment is on the way. But I can't, for my well-being, answer these phone calls all the time. I got to keep my sanity. But I told him about why I was struggling to pay. And that, I had been using my platform to speak up and say free Palestine. And that cost me. And, just long story short, he was the sweetest. And he just was like, thank you so much for what you do and the advocacy that you do. He's like, I have no doubt that things are going to turn around for you. He's like, and basically he's like, I'm going to make it so that you're not getting all these phone calls and blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, it was just a good exchange, even something that could be like a stressful exchange with a bill collector. It really was a phone call human to human. And I was just real with the person on the other end. And, so like I said, things are about to change very soon. And so I just have to kind of go through this a little bit longer, the struggle. Thank you for the friends who sent an Instacart grocery order. Thank you for all the support and love. Just make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/Miss Ross. Keep watching because I have to let you know, like, just alone with this channel growing. I think so far, we've gotten like maybe $600 from this channel. It's a beginning, it's a start, but like, it's a start. And that's a bill. That's the gas bill, the electric bill, that's the internet, that's a phone bill, that's something, you know. So I'm very appreciative because I know one day I'm gonna be hopefully looking at $10,000 coming from just from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? A month, or you know, or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? Like the sky's the limit. Um, but I just know that everything is going to be all right. That I'm going to be all right. Um, that the world is in chaos right now, and I'm not immune from experiencing some of that chaos. We call it oneness in environment. There is no way to separate yourself from your environment. So you will experience all the things. Um, so yeah, so I'm just going to stay grateful, stay in community with the people that I'm in community with. Feel free to always send me a text message. You can always text me at 888-991-2946 with your messages, your voice messages. Maybe I can share them, and your questions that you might want me to answer for future episodes. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for me this evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with just me, and allowing me to be a little bit vulnerable about everything that I'm dealing with right now. So appreciate you all. Yes, and we got one. Wait, we got a couple more comments here. Let's see. Sending you lots of love and solidarity. Thank you, M. Rivera. Thank you so much. Rick, good sharing space with y'all on here, this chat. Thank you so much. It's obvious to me you are ride or die through and through. Absolutely. For the movement, for the creative, I absolutely am. All right, y'all. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for hanging out with me now. No opportunity wasted. Take care of each other. Until next time. And actually, we'll go out with the music.